just take the pain?
Well, what they say for people in the program is you take it as directed and you don't hold it. But for me, it's like, I was like, come on. You kidding me?
Okay, we're rolling.
Okay, cool.
I'm sure I'd be fine, by the way, but the truth be told is there's so many other ways. You have the luxury of being mildly hammered right now while we work. I had my day in the sun.
That stuff.
Yeah. Here we are.
Now, I thought do you have a production company? Is this how the film came through?
I've had a production company, and I'm going to have another one. This was my buddy Ditto, who's just such a character, wrote this book that you could say was a book. It was a series of vignettes. My buddy Jonathan Elias, who really is the guy who nobody taught. Oftentimes a movie, the person who really sparked the idea is the person who's never mentioned at the junket. Jonathan Elias. I said, we're going to have to develop this. That means I have to talk to someone who really is producing, and that was Trudy. Financing up, down, the whole hoo-ha, and then Sting.
Where are you from?
New York.
You are from New York, but
Yeah.
what part?
I'm from Manhattan.
Okay.
Ditto and I came up together. I would only see him when he was in Manhattan because I wasn't rolling up to Queens. And I used to see him. He was recording a record. I'd see him singing vocals. I'd see him on the street. He was usually clothed, but that was optional on certain occasions if he was feeling loose or maybe had a swollen hand, was on Vicodin or something. And then all these years later, we reconvened, and I saw him back at Jonathan's West Coast production company, music production, and I said, wow, dude, there's something here.
Were you on board when, well, obviously you were, when you were casting the younger you?
Yeah.
What did you see in Shut Up? That was an interesting choice, by the way.
It was an interesting choice. What I saw was like, this is a weird thing to say, but I think everyone, for the most part, there's always exceptions, winds up doing the parts they're supposed to do. Tom Berenger broke his leg before we did this, and so-and-so did this movie and I thought, isn't that weird? He was about to do this movie, and now he's not. And now so-and-so is, and this and that. And I started developing this belief that as time tested itself, that people wind up doing what they're supposed to, though it seems like things shift a lot. In some movies, the casting is really locked in, and it's obvious, and other times it just keeps spinning and churning like some weirdo broken Swiss watch pieces, and then it locks in, and you go, oh, of course,
Well, you got a great cast. I'm assuming it was you called. Have you met, you worked with Diane before, haven't you?
No.
No, you haven't, okay.
No.
For some reason, when I was out there.
I know, I'd have thought I would have.
Yeah, good. But how did you meet, did you know Jazz, did you know Diane?
I had met practically everybody at some point, and then the younger cast members and Channing, I was starting to hear a really cool buzz about, and Ditto was really passionate about the casting process himself. But it's funny, there was the script development, there was the financing aspect, there was casting, and then there was production, and then obviously, post, and now all this stuff. It's like, it's just been so ridiculously eye-opening for me as an ever maturing adult now to realize how many pieces there are to every project that I've been a piece of. And now it was kind of like, I don't know what it was like. It was kind of like going back and really earning my stripes finally, in my late 30s mid to late 30s when I started producing this until now. It's been great.
Now, what do you say? You've been a part of so many huge productions now, and you had a production company. So
yeah, but what did I do? Come on.
Right?
What did I do? Did you see that this is the first one that came out? I've got great scripts and I've got ideas, but here was probably the most important lesson, and this is very symbolic of Saints too, is Ditto in the movie couldn't be that guy who stands up when Antonio has the prison visit with him at the end, if not for every piece and every puzzle and every little interaction he has in the space of the story that we tell. And for me, I realized that I need other people to do anything. I've never solved the problem by myself. I've never really done anything entirely creative of my own accord. Writing is the exception. But everything else is there's no isolation in creativity, and I think that tends to happen. Ditto's father has become this island unto himself. The mother is attached in this kind of steadfast, codependent way, but actually has a real overview of the situation. One of his friends is right where he was. One of the guys never moved past this thing and is still in his mother's shadow, and he's got to come and kind of detoxify this worldview that he developed, which is he feels responsible for leaving all these people behind, which means at some point he felt like he was responsible for them, which means there's that kind of like teenage narcissism that somehow or other you are creating the entire universe as opposed to just being a worker among workers.
We've been wrapped. I
Oh.
got